everyone. Good afternoon. Let me start with a question. Do you prefer I speak in English with a British accent, or that I speak Hebrew with a British accent? Or חצי חצי? חצי חצי, יאללה. אוקיי. צהריים טובים. ביקשו ממני לדבר בעברית. אני בריטי במקור, אבל אני עליתי לארץ לפני 20 שנה. אז אני אתחיל בעברית, למרות שזו פעם ראשונה שלי בעברית. אז יהיו כמה מילים כנראה באנגלית בהמשך. אני פה לדבר איתכם על journey. באמת, זה פעם ראשונה שמישהו אומר לי את זה. עכשיו שומרים? אוקיי, יופי. So we're going to speak about transforming spaces through digital art. My name is Rob Anders, מלונדון. ואני מנכ"ל של סטארט-אפים כבר 20 שנה. ואנחנו פה רוצינו להשפיע אנשים בכל העולם, to reach and inspire people in a different way, in a way that we've never done before. And the reason I'm so excited to be here specifically today is because this journey started in Israel. We're headquartered in Tel Aviv. And like many startup companies, the magic that we try to create goes out of the country. And we've spent the last few years inspiring people in New York, in Europe, and specifically in Asia. So I'm very excited to be back here to actually speak to the Israeli local audience. We're going to talk a little bit about how do we reimagine the way that we are creating experiences and designing spaces in a digital world. A world which is moving very fast. A world where the internet was meant to bring us together and often it didn't. A world where our children do not often know the difference between physical and virtual, and they're walking around with screens in their faces. We're living in a world today. We're living in an experience economy. These are things many of you have already started hearing and speaking about. We used to design for pragmatic reasons. We used to create spaces which were functional. But now we've moved to creating based on experience. How do we inspire and create an experience which is conducive to the environment? In the past, we used to buy things in our homes based on an experience which was an emotional collection. Now, when we are designing offices, when we are designing hospitality locations, we are thinking all about the experience. When we are working with Marriott around the world, they're saying it's about the guest experience. The guest experience is the dollar per guest. How do we create an experience which is going to give people a memorable event, something they can remember and will inspire them? When we're working with some of the big corporate companies in the world. Last week we were with Norman Foster Architects in Hong Kong. We're talking about how do we create a work environment which inspires people in different ways. And we believe that yourselves as architects and designers actually have a responsibility. You have a responsibility not just to go project, but you are responsible for creating the world in which we live. And we think in this crazy world, this experienced living world, how do I go back? So this is a world where we need art more than ever. המצגת לא כל כך עובד כמו שזה צריך לעבוד, אז בסדר, נמשיך anyway. בתוך העולם הזה, אנחנו מאמינים שאנחנו חייבים להביא אומנות, אוקיי? ולא רק אומנות על הקיר, אבל אומנות דיגיטלי. מה זה אומנות בעצם? קודם כל זה מספר סיפור. ב' אומנים מתמיד מספרים סיפור של העולם שלנו דרך האומנות. וג' אומנים תמיד משתמשים כל כלי שנותנים להם לייצא את האומנות שלהם. אז למרות שמ-1980 יש אומנות וידאו, אוקיי? עכשיו ב-2018 זה תקופה דיגיטלית שיותר ויותר אומנות מייצר באופן דיגיטלי. והפלטפורמה שלנו זה פלטפורמה שמאפשר את החוויה של אומנות דיגיטלית להגיע לכל ספייס בעולם. מה זה אומנות דיגיטלית? אנחנו פה מדברים ספציפי על אומנות וידאו, אומנות virtual reality, אומנות אינטראקטיבי, כל סוג של פורמט שמייצרים את זה באופן דיגיטלי כדי לחוות את זה באופן דיגיטלי. והחזון שלנו זה דברים כאלה. Our world is changing and our spaces are changing. We want to enable experiences of living digital art and changing the walls into living digital canvases. So rather than taking big screens like this for LED for advertising, we are turning our walls into digital canvases. And we're doing this by creating a platform which connects artists from all over the world and providing the technology for their art to be delivered to any type of digital canvas. Canvases that you as the architects and designers are actually creating and visualizing. This artwork is actually a data work. So it's taking information to do with actually the wind patterns, and based on that information, the artwork is living. So we're talking about an experience which is living, which is real time, which is changing. In a world which is moving so quickly, how do we take that experience inside our spaces in a way in which we can give people an opportunity to stop and just have one moment of meaningfulness, which is digital. This is in Boston. Let's move now to San Francisco. Think how much money is spent on putting marble across the inside of a hotel location or an office building. Even sometimes when you put marble, you then put a big picture on the wall and it stays there for years. What if our spaces become alive and the story that they tell reflects the personality of the space, but it's changing? Again, here we have an example where the canvas went round the corner. This artwork is taking real-time information to do with San Francisco, and based on that information, it changes. So it's always living, it's always different, it's always changing. The two examples I've shown you so far are of passive experience. You look at it. But like we see in the world of digital with our mobile phones, what about interactive? What about experiences where me, the artwork, and the environment all become one? When it becomes interactive, we kind of forget that this is a screen. These are the type of experiences that we are looking to bring into spaces everywhere to reach people, to inspire people, to give people a chance just to stop and do something different. So we are working now with some of the hotels so that when people are checking in at the hotel and the children are running around going crazy, okay, they have something meaningful to experience. And it's a little bit like Shrek. What was magic about the film Shrek was that a child, an adult, and a philosopher can actually all interpret and understand it in a different way. So very often with these artworks, because they really are art from top artists around the world, there are things that children can appreciate. There are people that non-art appreciates can appreciate, and people who are collectors of art and understand the art can also enjoy. Other examples. Okay, we'll move on. This type of experience is not always something totally new. Some of you have seen in the Ritz-Carlton in Herzliya. Some of you may have seen some things in the Knicks hotels. In the standard elevators in New York, for many years, they had Marco Brambilla works inside the elevator. But it was very difficult. We went and spoke with 200 of the top architects, artists, curators, gallerists from around the world, and we understood there were three problems. We understood there was a real appreciation and a desire to bring this type of artistic form into the spaces in which we live. You see, art, anyway, is going out of the museums and galleries into public spaces. The museums are trying to find new ways to reach an audience. You go to children today in school, you take them to a museum, they don't get it always, they find it difficult. You show them digital, they get it. Their eyes are open. I've done this in schools around Israel, actually. The problem was that, first of all, it's hard to find the work. Okay, we love this concept. You know what? I know this project. I want to put in some digital art. I know exactly which wall should become a canvas. But it was hard to find the artwork. So we said, what if we could build the biggest collection of high-quality digital artworks from the top artists and galleries in the world and have them in one location with all of the curatorial data to select exactly which one you want. The second problem was, even if you found the artwork, actually finding it, putting it inside the wall on a canvas, and then enabling to change it, it was very difficult. There was a lack of technology, there was a lack of tools, a lack of standards, a lack of rights management, we said, well, what if we could create a comprehensive technology solution which would enable any of this art from anywhere in the world to be delivered and displayed on any type of canvas at the click of a button? Where is the best place to create these type of crazy technology systems is in Israel. And half of our company come from the art world of Bezalel and Shenkar. The other come from the people behind Wix and Waze and building some of Israel's biggest high-tech successes. People who wanted to go on a journey and build a system which was going to culturally reach and inspire people everywhere. And the third problem we found was that traditionally in art, you go and buy a piece. It doesn't matter if it's a painting or a limited edition piece of photography or even video art. You go to a gallery, the model you buy it. You buy it one time. We said, well, if we want to reach and inspire the broadest audience, we need to create new models. We need to get the trust of the art world to enable us to actually give people access on demand. Some of the talks here have been talking about we're moving from ownership to accessibility. And we said, what if we can enable people to have access to this art changing for a monthly fee rather than just buying it? So we support buying and also this subscription. This is Neo, ladies and gentlemen. Neo is the enabling platform for premium digital art. A collection currently now actually of 9,000 works, probably the biggest collection of premium digital format artworks in the world. These come from over 1,200 of the top artists, galleries, museums in the world. So we're talking about artworks from artists whose works are in the MoMA, who are in the Tate, in the Tel Aviv Museum, who have decided to use our platform as the standard by which we can distribute it and reach audiences everywhere. So we, out of all the money that goes through the platform, we provide revenue shares back to the artist. So on a monthly basis, they're getting artists for the first time. Part of what we're doing, we think that artists and their creativity is critically important, and they don't have any platform to showcase their work in this way. Most artists, there's only 10,000 artists in the world that are represented by galleries. That's all. There's a lot of good artists who have a story to tell and a big audience who want to experience that. So we wanted to provide a platform which would enable a broader audience, so both the top artists and the emerging artists. And all of this is delivered with technology to any canvas. This here, some of you might know the Startup Nation central offices in Lillenblum in Tel Aviv. So they wanted, across their different co-working spaces, different canvases, changing. Every 3 months, the collection changes. And every time the collection changes, everyone in the office receives email introducing the new collection. So the message from the people who run the office is, we care about you. We want to inspire you. We want to stimulate creativity. This is for you. This is the artist. This is their story. This is why we're doing this. The canvas can be any type. So some people refer to us as the operating system of the wall. For Marriott, going now into 250 A-loft hotels around the world, 30 meters of LED canvas. And this is an interactive artwork that when you walk into the hotel, the artist is fascinated by the way we live in a world where we love selfies, but we hate everyone knowing our details. It's a little bit crazy. So this takes your picture, it changes the image and puts you on the ceiling. Again, this shows how our platform is an enabling tool for the community, for the designers and architects. Here, this is the largest freestanding digital art installation in New York. This is in a lobby of a residential building. They said, we want to play with the physical and the digital. And so they created this sculpture, but on the sculpture we project. So now, because it's art, we're matching between different types of surfaces and materials. Projection onto brick, projection onto linen. In this case, it was the canvas, and some of you may know this is an amazing Israeli artist called Ronen Sharabani that we are very close with, and he was commissioned on this particular project. I'm running out of time. How does it work? This is really a story for you. Ultimately, we're here as the enabling platform. We're working right now with probably around about 85 architects and designers in 35 countries, and we give you access to our platform to find the work and to deliver that work to any canvas you choose. We also have, through relationships we have with local certified companies in each of these countries, the guys who come and will install. So for example, in Israel, some of you might know Head Cinema. Okay, so Head Cinema will be doing all of the installations of Neo in private residential, hospitality and commercial offices in this country. We're here to aspire to reach and to connect people everywhere. And there's a big red sign here saying time up, time up, time up. So I think I'm going to stop there, but I think the message is this. We're very proud to be back in Israel. We're doing something which is not just a business. It's not just something which is working and connecting people, but it's a journey. And I'll finish where I started by saying that we take a lot of pride in this journey has come back to Israel. And we are very happy to be working with as many architects and designers in this country who would like the opportunity to start implementing some meaningful digital art experiences in their projects. You can look at us up on neo.art. My name is Rob. Mamash mamash toda rabah.